Well, hello again. It's Chef Joe at Camp Make a Dream. It's a fine October autumn morning, and I'm having my coffee, and I thought, by golly, a cookie would be good. Not any cookie, but a pumpkin chocolate chip cookie. And so that's what we're going to make today. Now, if you saw an earlier segment, we made our own fresh pumpkin puree. You can use a can on this, but it's kind of like boxed chocolate adding water or going and making real hot cocoa. It's all the difference. So use that fresh. And another great thing I do is I like to pre-mix my dry ingredients, because sometimes you just come home, you go, God, a cookie would be really good, but it's going to take me forever to make it. Well, not if you do the step-by-step. Pre-mix everything up, put it in a nice Ziploc bag, put that in your pantry, or if you're going camping, you put it in your camper and you pull it out and you can bake fresh cookies in camp. And then half of your steps are already done. So the puree also, this can be put into Ziploc bags measured so it's like 1 cup per bag and frozen. And it makes it really good. It'll last for a year in there. Alright, so in my pre-mix ingredients here, what I have are the dry ingredients. And it's a cup of brown sugar, 2 cups sifted flour, teaspoon of baking soda, teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon salt, half teaspoon cinnamon, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger, and 1 cup of chocolate chips, and a half a cup of nuts. And for this, what I used are almonds. You can use pecans or peanut, or even omit the nuts. So all you have to do at that point is, when you want to make these cookies, you just add your wet ingredients. And today what we're using is a 1 cup of fresh pumpkin puree and a half a cup of oil and 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and that's it. And we'll mix all this together. We're going to put it out on a cookie sheet, and we're going to cook it at 350 degrees for 12 to 15 minutes. And it also kind of going to depend on the size of your cookie on how long you want to cook them. Alright, so I've added my dry ingredients into the bowl. Now I'm going to take a nice generous cup of my pumpkin puree, and I'm going to put it in there. And I know, don't panic, because some of you are saying, wait a minute, where's the eggs? Well, between the oil and the pumpkin, that gives plenty of moisture into these cookies where you just don't need the eggs. Now we're going to put in a half a cup of vegetable oil. And we're going to mix this all together, and then we'll get it on our cookie sheets. So as you mix this in there, if we had smell-o-vision right now, you'd be smelling the nutmeg and the cinnamon and that pumpkin goodness. And this is where you kids, and growing up, you always wanted to lick the beaters when your mom made cookies and stuff like that. And of course, nowadays with the raw egg in there, you really aren't supposed to do that. But by golly, this is one where if you use the beater to mix it up, or like me, you're just using a spatula, you can even get your fingers in there if you like, because it's kind of almost like a bread dough. And get that all nice and mixed up in there. And then we're going to scoop this out and make some cookies. Alright, so we've got everything all mixed up, and we're just going to scoop those out. And I like to use an ice cream scooper. You can make whatever size you want, but it keeps the cookies kind of even, and so they all cook nice at about the same level. We'll put those on there and get this goodness all nice and mixed up. So now we've got our first batch scooped up and ready to go, and I don't know if you can just see all that deliciousness in there with the pumpkin and the chips. We're going to put this right into the oven, and it's going to go in for about 12 to 15 minutes. Let this go. Cookie, 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 cookie. Cookies are done, finally. Oh my my gosh. Pumpkin chocolate, heavenly delicious. Now, normally you're going to pull these out of the oven and set them on a rack and let them cool. But I don't want my coffee to get cold. So we're going to go ahead and just plate some up. And then, there's one burning question that most people are divided upon. In this day and age, there's only two sides. Do you dunk or don't dunk? And I'm a dunker. Enjoy.